All right. Good morning, everyone. Sorry about the late start here. I was just trying to nail down some things with Spanier's earnings. All right, let's get going. Okay, U.S. markets, it's another sideways drift. Up on the Nasdaq, down on the Dow and the S&P. You can see their sector's a little bit mixed, with tech kind of leading the way to the upside. Just another day of really light volume. Very little. Very little on the go in terms of what's driving the market. So we didn't really see. I don't think we've got anything to really give us any leadership today from yesterday. We had some, obviously some broader moves out of the tech sector driven by Apple and saying that its latest iPhone is going to be released on September 10th. So, all in all, just very little going on in the markets. Asian stocks were up pretty much across the board. I think China was a bit flat, but mostly up on the day. We had the yen that's finally weakened out a little bit, as Prime Minister Abe is mulling a tax cut for companies. So just continue to be a slow positive, and markets a slow grind higher. And we are, just in the middle of a bull market, quite obviously. So, all right. Trading earnings out this morning from Sibanye. Diluted headline earnings per share at 154. Guidance that they came out with was 155, but what the market was expecting was significantly less than that. I think previously production at 656,000 ounces, which is right in line as well. And they also said that they're considering the interim dividend of up to 25% of normalized earnings, provided that their net debt does not exceed $4 billion after the dividend payment would be made out. And the wage negotiations also would be settled before they would instate that. There's talk of a special divvy, I think, coming after these numbers. So I think this is going to be. I think this is a pretty solid number there. I think we're going to need to watch the action today just to confirm that, but definitely a solid number. And I think, especially if they were to come out with a special div, then you would obviously see a nice move to the upside there, I think. We did have UBS this morning that cut Impalas to sell versus neutral. We had Japanese machine orders out this morning, better than expected. German CPI, Spanish CPI, UK CPI. Then we've got industrial production out of the European region at 11. We've got the ZEW survey, which has definitely been one of the bigger things in the market lately, at 11 also. We've got retail sales out of the U.S., and then we've got Fed's Lockhart that's going to speak in Atlanta today. So, all right. Let's jump into the maps. All right. First thing I'm going to look at here is just the Aussie. You can see here, we tweeted this out yesterday afternoon late. We really just, we broke to a new all-time high there on the Aussie, above previous levels. If you guys remember correctly, we had been kind of battling to get above this level. We had 1, 2, 3, 4 days of touches before we broke through it on the fifth day at this level. We're really at 36,500, and we've just absolutely exploded. I mean, this morning we're up basically at 38,000. So we've moved up 1,500 points, and we've done it rather quickly over the last 4 sessions or so. And I think it's obviously incredibly important, taking out new highs. I think we actually probably one of the few markets around the world, around the world that are taking out new highs at the moment. So this is it's a very bullish thing. Obviously, it was helped by our mining index yesterday, and we're going to have to watch that, continue to watch that going forward. But I think, regardless, irrespective, I think we've got a significantly higher target on the Aussie, so long as global markets support that move. All right, this is a gold chart, 1 year gold chart. We talked I guess it was maybe close to a month ago even when we tested back up here at 1350 and really sold off. The interesting thing was as we came all the way back up here to 1350, our gold shares couldn't even catch a dead cat bounce. This time, obviously, this out of this move higher, we kind of flagged. We've made it through that level, in the past few sessions, and you can see here coming back up to that same sort of level. I mean, the last couple of days is enough to move our gold miners, basically 15 to 20% across the board in 3 days. So this move of the last few sessions, the fact that there is some buying back into the gold ETF for the first month in about 7 is obviously given us a huge boost in terms of the shares. I would expect, because of the way that the shares have been trading, that we probably will get through this 1350 level. And if we do get through 1350, we obviously have some significant upsides. So this is a level I really want to keep an eye on. 1350, it's major, it's really definitive. If we get through there, I think the physical gold price could have some more room to the upside. All right, Impalas, I'll shorten this up a touch. But the basic premise here is we definitely have broken out here in Impalas. We've kind of gotten above that little recent high, and I think, without doubt, I mean, we could see a move up here to this 115 level rather quickly. It's not that far away, but $7 away, still a nice little move potentially left in Impalas, and definitely out of its longer-term downtrend, which has definitely been, we broke out of quite a while back just from sideways movement. So I think that, we definitely could see a little bit higher target there. A couple of these things definitely probably have higher targets, and I think there's still big short interest out, so it could continue in the near term. All right, if you look at Exaro here, let's just get this to the right level. Exaro, you can see Exaro here right around 159 is really where resistance is on Exaro, and we're really, I like these kind of moves where we just continue to make higher and higher lows into resistance. I think we punched through here. We could have some nice upside here in Exaro. I'm not fundamentally that bullish of these things, but the chart's starting to look a little bit more and more bullish through 159. This thing's definitely got significant upside on Exaro. All right, let's look at MediClinic. I'm going to actually jump back to a 2-year chart on MediClinic, so it's a little bit easier to look at and just see the kind of flag pattern that we're setting up here on the longer term. This thing's obviously it's moved up, it's moved up quite sharply, but more specifically kind of into the April sort of May timeline, and then the last 3 months we've really just been putting in a nice consolidation, kind of building this nice flag. I think if we go through 72 on MediClinic, we could really have some nice upside there. I like the level above there. I think that there's definitely money to be made there if we get above 72 in MediClinic. All right, let's look at Harmony quickly, shorten it up a touch. Harmony obviously, was up 20% yesterday, so that's quite significant in itself. Don't get to see that all that often. You can see here how we're breaking resistance on Harmony. I would really say that let's call it $43 is a chip shot. And I think that possibly could even trade a little bit higher. Could even come up here. I wouldn't be surprised to see the thing fill the gap all the way up to $50, which seemed absurd 2 days ago. But after yesterday, I think anything's possible. So, okay, the last local one I'm going to show here is Naspers. Excuse me. Which Naspers? Sorry. You can see here not making another kind of continuation pattern. Difficult to see here, but where this little dot is right up there, you can see where my cursor is right now. That's where it closed on yesterday's session. So we actually did break to new highs, new closing highs on Naspers, and we've just seen so many of these continuation patterns. I mean, you can just see every time that these, the top end of these continuation patterns break out, they go. Here's another example. Breaks out here, it goes, kind of pulls back just below that. It goes, I mean, you zoom this back into the last year, and there's just continuation pattern after continuation pattern after continuation pattern. So I think Naspers definitely could make another leg higher. Nothing would surprise me now. And the last one I'm going to show is Is it the right ticker? .nas, not coming up. .nas. Okay. For some reason, let's just give me a second here. Sorry, New York Stock Exchange. Setting up a potential head and shoulder pattern that we've got setting up here. You can see potentially building here. I would say a break above 23 would kind of negate that, which is right where we are right now. But you can see the very defined neckline right here. So I would say a drop below about 21.75 would be a nice little head and shoulder setup. Could take us all the way down to, at least probably the 19 level. And if we break above 23, then I think this thing maybe potentially could have some room to the upside. So just keep an eye on those out of the States. And that's it for today, guys. Thanks a lot.